Good morning, guys. My morning video. This is Thursday. I think that's right. Yeah, Wednesday or Thursday. Can't remember. Um, February 3rd. Day after Groundhog's Day. So the Nasdaq. I'm doing focus on the Nasdaq and a little bit on the Russell today, and try to keep it fairly short today. So this is an ugly candle we're having on the NDX as of yesterday. It looks like we're going to be gapping down, and that's going to be a major topping candle, possibly at that 10% sell-off zone here on the NDX. Really looking dangerous here for technology to start the day out. So I wanted to start with that view real quick, like here. Then I can go, and then also I want to point out, see how the ATR at the range lows here spiked out on, got a really high ATR when we hit a major inflection point for the move up on the index. We are doing the flip opposite right here, right now. We have a divergence happening. You see how we were putting in, we have higher highs, but your average true range has just exploded. This is a bearish signal on the markets in general, okay, on a daily time frame. So definitely something to keep on watch here. Also, I want to look at the SMH. Something definitely I want to point out here. We have an explosive move in ATR, suggesting with that hook on there, suggesting a major topping scenario here on our SMH. Okay, if I come down here to my simple moving averages, there it is. Okay, on this time frame here, and then I'm going to go. Hell, that thing got erased real quick there. Give me a second here, and we'll go down to 4 hour, I guess. Okay, and I'm going to give it a little bit more time. 180 days. Okay, and I'm going to look at my 1 hour pivots. Okay, guys. And so basically, you see right here, this prior high on this top. I'm going to zoom in right there and draw a line. See these are 1 hour pivot highs. I don't like targeting the dead high. Those pivot highs are very critical support resistance for uh, a critical top, on a range. Okay, and then I want to zoom in here and show you what's going on here. Okay, we're right here. We're testing at right here this morning. After having a blowout numbers out, AMD, our semiconductors are testing critical support to open our session this morning. Major warning sign, in my opinion, here on technology that we are potentially going to be breaking here on our semiconductors. We are testing very critical support here for semiconductors, which it shouldn't be doing that right after such an amazing numbers out of AMD. Okay, I'm watching Apple also, and so basically, uh, let me see here. It's got an really high HR as well. Uh, so basically, what I got going on here on Apple, earnings are out, of course, everybody knows that. But see, here's Monday, okay, and the Monday open is right here. So we are in a very tight range, trading range for Apple. It wouldn't take much at all for it to be taken out the Monday open. So that is another thing. You don't really have a lot of room here to be going bearish on the week for Apple. Same with Microsoft, one of your mega techs, and especially after what we saw with Facebook overnight here. Facebook, very tight trading range. We're already trying to take out the weekly open on Microsoft. Another one, really good earnings. I thought yesterday was going to break out, and they didn't want to have anything to do with that. So it looks like could be really quickly here on the open going bearish on the week on Microsoft. Facebook just got destroyed after hours. So basically, I think they're going to try to hold it inside of these quarter pivots. Okay. So basically, they were saying if we opened down here near those lows, it would have been the biggest percent market cap decline ever in a stock's history. 1 day decline if Facebook would have been opening down here. So that leans to think that there might be the shorts are going to cover. You never want to be in that situation if you've got some short positions. So we could definitely possibly see a short squeeze here on the open here on Facebook, in my opinion. People just not wanting to be too short right below these quarterly pivots. This is has historically been a supporting area for Facebook. It does look like we're already trying to get back up inside of just these trading areas. So definitely want to keep that out there. That I'm leaning a little bit more to the squeeze higher scenario. Now we do have. I do want to point out. You come way down here. You have to go a ways here. Okay. Where's it at? Oh, where's it at? I got pivots up. Okay, let's see here. Simple moving average. There it is. Your your weekly 200-day moving average is down here. So I'm making the bullish case that they're going to try to hold in here because we are so oversold. But ultimately, I think probably next week we're going to be coming down here to the 230 area. Okay, the weekly 200. I think that's a definite possibility here, and then that's also the monthly 50 down here. So just keep that in the back of your mind going forward here. Uh, Definitely a possibility given the news that came out. We're coming down here. I just don't think they might not do it today because we've had such a massive liquidation here on tech. Okay. So just keep that in the back of your mind. Some things I'm looking at there on the technology front. But the semis are what's bothering me. The semis will, give the direction for tech, and them testing right now, pre-market here, critical support, definitely something to be concerned about. Uh, I want to also mention, as far as put action, there was a lot of put action positioning in IWM yesterday. So we're right here testing critical support. This is a range support here, possibly breaking here on IWM to the downside. Our Monday open what was it? It's right through here, right here, the 194.43. So we could, this one here was really acting weak yesterday. So I'm actually leaning to think this here could actually completely retrace all of this week's move to the downside. So definitely keep this one on watch. Leaning more to the bearish side, that this is might be like a mini head and shoulders scenario, and completely give up this week's trading range on that. Another one I wanted to point out, believe it or not, yesterday, Ford. A lot of put action in Ford. So we got Ford reporting after hours tonight, and a lot of traders were buying some insurance on this move. So I do want to point that out. That's not one you would normally think about. And so we had a lot of put action on that and emerging markets. We had a lot of put action on emerging markets yesterday, and here we're gapping down this morning. So that's another one. Keep on mind here. These higher interest rates, believe it or not, guys, they are not good for these emerging markets. So definitely keep this on watch. We'll write down in here. See how this is like a top. Okay. See how we got that gap right there. This is almost an island situation up here at the top. So we definitely want to hold this 48 to 20 area. So we're still okay. We're still right down here near the lows of this range, but this is definitely giving us a little warning here that we might be breaking down into this zone. This would be our next supporting area. So down here is where your real support is on this, with that big gap right here. So that'd be 42.50 area if this EEM starts breaking down. But I did see a lot of put action in EEM, and if I put her out on longer time frame there, as you can see, what I'm looking at here, that gap right there, we got this right through here. So we're basically, like I said, we're right here. We violated this area already, and we're trying to come back into this lower distribution area. That's what it looks like to me here on your emerging markets. So definitely keep that on watch. Okay, another one I want to look at here, and that is your Tesla. We're right down here bear flagging on critical support this morning. Okay, this is a critical swing high pivot. It's 882.12. So if we come down and take that out, that's completely invalidating all of this move up here on our Tesla. So definitely keep this one on watch today. Remove this. So definitely a little warning sign here that the Tesla move higher might be in jeopardy here if they cannot hold that 882.20 area. So, a little worrisome whenever you're coming in to the morning session and you're right on that critical support to open. Very critical support. We're already right on that this morning on the Tesla trade. Some other little indicators I do want to point out here. Bitcoin, we are below the week open. So that is bearish. That tends to be that's my risk, uh, my alpha risk indicator. People are risk off. So that's really bad. That could be really bad for tech here. So, obviously Bitcoin is not looking too healthy here. Another indicator which I was using that I like using, this is what you call the cumulative tick indicator. Okay, and it just tracks what's happening under the hood as prices are, a lot of times you'll see divergences, positive or bearish, in price action versus the actual underlying ticks. Okay, so we had a very negative tick on the S&Ps, not quite as bad going into Facebook but it was negative on the Nasdaq yesterday. We had a pretty negative tick on the Russell. Okay, not horrible though. The worst was the S&Ps. The ticks on the S&Ps were really bad under the hood yesterday. Okay, and then we even had some bearish ticks for most of the day on the Dow Jones. So definitely want to point out, yesterday we saw what was going on in the price action. It's actually mostly bullish, but yet under the hood, there was definite liquidation happening. That's my main takeaway. So one of my main takeaways, Amazon is reporting tonight. I know a lot of people thinking Amazon's going to have a blowout quarter and stuff. My biggest concern about Amazon when I ordered goods and stuff, how fast they got the goods to me. I'm thinking that is a contrarian indicator. I was actually they were giving me delivery dates and they were coming in a day or 2 days earlier than on those delivery dates. You would think that would be saying that the companies ran real well. It might actually mean that they got overstaffing uh, versus the demand for their goods and services. So, just keep that in the back of your mind. That's kind of what I'm thinking here, that it's not going to be quite as rosy for Amazon as what a lot of people think. Not to mention the whole guidance thing. So, but in hindsight, though, I do want to point out I have been talking for months, well, probably for a couple of years now, with the people who know me about a stock split on Amazon, and instead we got the stock split on Google. And so Google's wanting to go into the Dow Jones, and I've been after a lot of people about a stock split in Amazon to go into the Dow Jones. And so we're actually didn't really get the exact what I expected this quarter. I cannot see Amazon trying to do a stock split the same time frame that Google's doing it. I just don't see that happening, but you never know. So just keep that in the back of your mind. Okay, one final takeaway I do want to point out here. We this prior swing low here on my TikTok chart, okay, and this basically just follows some of the major stocks. We are marking a print below that prior swing low, suggesting that this bull run in the market might have been a bear cat bounce, and we could be revisiting lows here by the end of the week here on my TikTok chart. And this is a cumulative chart of Apple, Amazon, Tesla, Google, and Microsoft. So I do want to point out, and we saw what Google just had a great numbers, and so I'm on that little list there. I was concerned about Apple, Microsoft, and Tesla. I mentioned all three of those, and then we have Amazon reporting. Uh, so I did want to point that out going forward here. The TikTok chart is suggesting selling pressure early on this morning. I also like watching my Boeing chart here, and we using my fib fans, we might be coming into a reset to the downside. Assuming that the markets aren't going to trend higher today. So Boeing, I definitely have on watch. It's this post earnings on Boeing. So I do want to point that out. So we are initially rejecting these pre-market highs post earnings. So I do want to point that out on Boeing. I kind of thought of anything that would probably go higher this week would be a breakout on Boeing, but you never know. So uh, definitely keep this one on watch here. Things are not looking too pretty right now at all, and so I want to point that out in the markets. Yeah, to finish my video here, I do want to point out here on IWM. This here is the biggest warning sign to the markets, in my opinion. We're holding up here at like a bear flag up at this January 2020 gap and go area. Okay, so so basically, what I got going on here that looks like a bear flag to me, and just looks like a third of. We're actually into about a third of my expected move. I'm actually expecting the Russell in the next weeks or months or whatever to come all the way back to the post-election gap up. So the day after election, so I'm expecting a move all the way back down to the 160 here, and so ultimately your main support is 150 on. So that's your primary support in my opinion. Any major supports all the way down to 150. So that's another 50 points lower here on the Russell in the longer term time frame. So if we're truly starting a bearish market, which all of our indicators are suggesting we are, we just don't know when it's going to start. So just keep that in mind. Just keep your cash flush, and if you're going to go long, be very careful on how long you stay in these markets. Okay, thanks a lot, and I will. If you have any questions, right below, please retweet my video on Twitter if you can. Uh, Give me as many likes as you can. Of course, all that gets me more people watching the videos, and I'm not wasting my time. Okay. Thanks a lot. DM me or write me at the bottom of the video on YouTube if you have any questions.